What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're trying to grow the channel. We're pumping out 3 videos a week right now, and definitely want to make sure you don't miss out on any future videos, so make sure you hit that subscribe. And I really appreciate everyone always liking and commenting. Make sure you leave those comments down below because we got an interesting topic here today. It's kind of a discussion. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this, but it's kind of a trend that we're seeing with all of the baits, really all of the bass fishing world, is everything's starting to go smaller, and crankbaits are no different. And I got a few baits here that I want to show you, kind of talk about, and see what you guys think about, these little micro crankbaits. It could be the next big thing in the bass fishing world. Okay, so, we've seen it with it always starts with soft plastic. So, you've seen, the baits getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It starts with big power worms, and we've slowly gotten smaller, 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 all the way down to little tiny Ned rigs now. And, crankbaits are no different. So, we start with these big deep diving crankbaits, and as fish get more pressured and as technology gets better, we're able to now create a tiny little crankbait like this guy right here that really imitates that tiny little bait fish that the fish feed on so much better than any sort of little bait. So this is just a tiny little crankbait right here. This is the Bill Lewis Gnat. It's called a micro crankbait, but it is a super cool little bait. So this little tiny thing actually has a weight transfer system in there. So you can actually cast him pretty good. Obviously it's a little spinning rod technique. I don't think you're going to be throwing him on a bait caster, but still you can get some pretty good distance on him. And, he dives down to about 4 feet of water. That little guy gets down to 4 feet of water. So, you're seeing this trend of all these smaller baits, especially in this summertime, late summertime of year where the bait fish of this year are just super tiny. They hatch, sometime in the spring, and they're just super tiny little bait fish, and the bass go nuts over them. Well, now we have a perfect little crankbait that can mimic those. So, this is a bait that you can fish anywhere that you typically would a normal crankbait, normal square bill, when those bass are feeding on that tiny little bait fish. So I'm pretty excited about, the movement towards smaller stuff. I've always been, a spinning rod guy. I like throwing smaller stuff. So, I'm really excited to see what's next in the future of the tiny little crankbaits. I know there's some new stuff coming from Bill Lewis here at iCast, some new colors of this guy. So you'll be able to see a bunch new pretty colors of the Gnat crankbait. But, there's tons of different options. This guy's a little bit bigger, but he also dives a little bit deeper, and he's kind of in that same family of micro crankbaits. This is one that I used to throw a lot in Pittsburgh when the bass would feed on those little tiny bait fish. But it's really cool to see the trend of smaller baits. And I'm curious your guys' thoughts. What do you think? You think it's here to stay? You think, you think this could potentially win a tournament someday? I don't know. I don't think this could win a tournament, but this is going to put a lot of fish in the boat. Definitely this is an excellent bait. If you're just fishing off the bank, if you're pond fishing and you want to go catch a bunch of fish, not even all bass, you can catch bluegill, you can catch trout, you can catch all different species on this little guy. And it's just something that, you definitely should have in your tackle box. Variety of different colors. You see we got a bright pink one here, crawfish flavor, color. You can't go wrong with a crawfish, little crawfish like that if you're fishing those real small creeks or streams or whatever it may be. You're really starting to see these little tiny baits take off. So I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Make sure you drop them in the comments below, but definitely check out the Bill Lewis Gnat and all the new colors coming out here soon. And I'm curious to hear what you guys think of the little micro cranks. And if you have any other suggestions as far as little baits, I'm all ears, because like I said, this is something that I'm really excited about, and I'm really going to dive into here this late summer into fall when those fish start keying in on that little bait fish. So real quick, short video here today. We're actually at iCast while this video is dropping, but appreciate you guys tuning in. as always, there's some really cool stuff coming from iCast, so those will be the next videos on the channel. I appreciate you guys as always, and we'll see you guys next time.